Hello and welcome to March's President Live. Welcome everyone at a slightly earlier time than normal. Those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Advita Patel and I am the President for the Chartered Institute of Public Relations for 2025. These are my regular monthly updates where we have a conversation with some guests. I will give you an update about what's been going on behind the scenes at CIPR. And I'll also be sharing and celebrating some great work that's been taken place by our volunteers and our members. Today, we have got some great guests for you. We've got the wonderful Katie Marlow, who is our new board director for CIPR. And we're also welcoming Alastair as well, the CEO of CIPR, who will be telling us a little bit more about the plans for this year. But before I invite Katie on stage, I want to share with you a few updates, which I think you'll find useful. So I'm just going to pop up my little screen here so I can see, so I don't get anything too wrong. Right, so hopefully some of you have seen that we recently published the Missing Women Study. Earlier this month, we published this from the Research Fund from 2024, and the research was led by past presidents, Stephen and Sarah Waddington, and it shone a light on the systemic barriers in advancement of women in public relations. And they found that nearly 4,000 female practitioners leave the industry mid-career or fail to advance in senior positions. So please do check out that study. It is incredibly important. Stephen and Sarah have done some fantastic work in the research with their research team, and it's well worth a read as well. We also published the annual EDI, so Equity, Diversity and Inclusion Progress Report, and that was our first annual report, and it's an important milestone to demonstrate how much work is taking place at CIPR, and kudos to the team behind that report and the work that's been taken place. It's a great read, and it just demonstrates just how important this piece of work is for us, as from a membership perspective, from a volunteer perspective, but also from a CIPR staff and colleague perspective as well. So please do visit our newsroom. All the information that you need is on there. Check it out, make yourself a cup of tea, have a good read. We've done some fantastic work over the last 12 months, and we've still got some more great things happening over time as well. And then finally, before we invite Katie on stage, just a reminder that the CPD deadline, so for you, if you log points, then make sure that your CPD deadline is Monday, the 31st of March. And later on, I'm going to do some celebration on some folks who have logged some incredible points. And honestly, it's just mind-blowing on how incredible it is when they're doing the logging of that. And I'm also going to share some practical and top tips on how you can log more effectively in the new year as well, because we often get asked questions from people on how do they maintain their logging. You know, it can be a little bit of an overwhelming thought when you're doing it towards the end of your time. So I want to share a couple of top tips with you that other people have shared with me, and some of the things I do as well to keep my CPD on point. So please do check out the information that's on the portal. There's over 1,800 pieces of CPD that you can access, anything from 3 points all the way to 10 to 15 points. You can also do custom logging. So don't forget that you can also log any events that you've been to, any podcasts that you listen to, books that you read, articles that you might scan over, YouTube videos that you might be watching, anything that has helped you enhance your career as well. So check out the custom logging section as well. But give yourself, I would advise you to try and get that done today or tomorrow in plenty of time before the deadline closes. Hopefully that was a good quick update for you all. Like usual, if you've got any questions, any thoughts, then please do let me know. The other thing I want to try and encourage you all to do as well, if you're watching us live, is please do say hello in the comments, leave your where you're calling in from, your job, where you're working, that kind of stuff, because it's really good for you all to kind of connect with each other and make sure that you're all there to support each other. Last time we did this, a few folks found mentors, they got some chartership buddies as well, and they connected and met each other. So please do say hello in the comments to each other and make sure that you connect if you don't know each other as well. So without further ado, I am going to invite the wonderful Katie Marlow to stage. Hello, Katie.
Hi, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. How are you doing?
Really good. Yeah, not a bad day down here in sunny Bournemouth. Bit blue sky, little bit
I
of
know.
sunshine. It's all
I was
right.
so jealous of your fantastic photos of your beach and the sunshine, the sea.
Yeah,
I'm like right in the middle of urban Manchester.
yeah, I am. I do. Yeah, very fortunate. Feel very,
Very
very lucky to have that on my doorstep. Not quite literally. I can't walk out of my house into the sea, I hasten to add. But yes, quite close, closer than you are.
good. So, Katie, you and I have known each other for good, like 15 years, I think it is, around about that time. So it's been a long time. We first met when I put my hand up to volunteer for the CIPR Internal Comms Committee, Inside Committee.
Yeah,
And we're on that first committee meeting, if you remember. And I used to do my jaunt up from down from Manchester to London. So we've known each other for a long time. But I'm
yeah.
conscious that there'll be people who are watching us or re-watching that may not know who you are and what your background is. And you've just joined the board of directors for CIPR. So do you want to tell folks a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, of course. So, yeah, I was reflecting on that this morning, thinking about our sort of shared history. So, I've been working in the communications industry now for about 25 years, thereabouts. I joined CIPR in 1997. So, I've been a member even longer. I joined as a student. And my career kind of started out very much in sort of external press kind of work and corporate comms. Internal comms was always my favourite aspect of work, the bit that I got sort of most fired up about, and the one that I felt I could get, I don't know, most traction with, seeing the difference it can make. So the first part of my career was very much in-house. The second part has been working for myself. So since I've known you, Advita, those 15 years, I've been working independently and worked with companies of all shapes and sizes. And I've been involved with CIPR Inside, and my internal comms focus has become really much greater. And that's probably enough about me and my professional life. My home life, classic mum of two, married, 2 dogs, a cat, all of the trappings of life, trying
All the
to juggle it all. So the missing women report speaks loudly to me.
Yeah, I mean, that is a great report, and again, highly recommend that you download it if you haven't done so. So why did you? So all this, so you volunteered. You've been a volunteer longer than I have, and so what pushed you to put yourself forward for the board?
I think it was partly sort of like it felt like the natural progression. So I started off volunteering and supporting the internal comms group. Oh, actually, before that, I worked locally with the Wessex group and then into the internal comms group. And my last role in the internal comms group, CIPR Inside, was co-chairing with Becky Williams. So we had a really good year last year. And the board opportunity was there in my sights of, oh, can I, can't I? Am I ready? Will I ever be ready? Okay, just do it. The still stepping up into board for me felt like a big step, but also something I felt I needed to do for myself in my own development. It's an opportunity for me to learn more about board. It's my first board position. And obviously I've sat in on board meetings, but I've not been accountable for them. So it's a very different role. So yeah, that's the sort of challenge for me, is kind of stepping into that next level of leadership and being, part of that governing body.
And it's really interesting because I remember when I got my first board role, you do feel a little bit, oh my goodness, what am I doing here? Like, what am I saying? Because you're right, we're I suppose in the world of internal communication, well, communications in general, you do often get, depending on the organization or where you or your clients, you do get invited to board meetings to present something or another. But it's a very different ball game, isn't it, when you're kind of part of the discussion and the conversations and responsible for some of the deliverables that we have there as well. And one of the things which I love, and I'm so chuffed that you put yourself forward for board, because having taken that step and demystifying what it is like to be on a board is really important. I know it's important to me. I know it's important to you. So I love that you did that. And if anybody does have an interest in being part of the board of directors next year, or have any questions around that, then please do pop them in the comment section. Katie, myself, and the other board directors will be more than willing to answer some of these questions, and maybe next month we can commit some time to that as well, because I know people often ask like what's involved, what does it mean, how can I support. So thank you for that, Katie. What are you most looking forward to this year?
Advita, I have to say, it's kind of working alongside you. It sounds a bit trite, doesn't it, saying it now on a live with you? But it really was. I think when we first talked about it, and when you were sort of thinking about going forward with presidency and everything else, it's like, well, if there's anyone I want to be sort of on board with, it's Advita. And having seen your sort of learning curve from those early days back when we first both started out at the internal comms group, and seeing your trajectory, it's been really, really good. So partly that, and just getting stuck into board and CIPR workings and understanding more about how it all pieces together. I don't know, you kind of, that these things happen when you're a member and even as a volunteer, but you don't quite understand all of the nuances. So that for me this year, it doesn't sound as exciting as, running a massive event or a campaign, but it's a learning curve for me this year and working alongside you. Thank you.
Oh no, thank you. You and I are also, we've been friends as well a lot for a long time. And if those of you saw me what I was like 15 years ago when I first joined the committee,
Yeah.
and I never thought in a million years that I would be president of the CIPR.
And how amazing you are.
Oh, thank you. But it is because of CI, and I can't bang this drum enough. And I know, people might think, oh, she's obviously going to say that because she's the president of CIPR. The reason I wanted to be president is because it was CIPR that gave me the confidence to be president. To show that, being a member and being a volunteer can change how you work. Not even if you don't have the time to be a volunteer, being a member itself and giving you that career confidence to put yourself forward for opportunities is critical. So I love that, and I love working with you, and that I admire the work that you do and stuff. And it's so important that we open up those doors for people who may not believe they belong in that space. And so that's why I'm an open book. People will hopefully know that. And if anybody's got any questions, like I said, then please do pop them in there. And then finally, Katie, what is the best piece of advice you have ever received?
I really struggle with this kind of question. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I've ever had any. I mean, I have. That's rubbish, right? Because it's just my memory as much as anything. But to that point, it is all about your own mindset, right? It's about how you think about things. And if you think, oh, I'll never be able to do this, I won't ever be able to achieve that, or this is too far away from me, the likelihood of you getting there is really slim. So that kind of classic Henry Ford quote about whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, it's true, or whatever his phrase is, or you're right, feels so on point for me. And it certainly does at the moment. I mean, every stage of our careers, if you're learning and following your professional development and you're stretching yourself, every day is a learning day, right? And you go in and think, right, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to go and give it my best shot, and I'm going to go and do it because I know I've got the skills and I can do it, and I'm a good person with good intention. I'm going to just do it. So at that piece, yeah, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right.
Yeah, I love that. And I always say to folks that confidence is taking action, right? So you can read all the books, you can talk to loads of different people, but you do need to take that step yourself to make that change happen. And it's progress, always progress, not perfection. None of us are perfect, none of us get it right all the time, and the only way we learn is through failing, ultimately. So if anyone is listening to that great advice that Katie has shared and you're wondering, next steps for you, what you can get involved in, then please do believe in yourself and understand that, there's others there that are championing you and they're clapping you on the back as well as you progress. Well, thank you, Katie, for your time, energy, and your commitment to CIPR. I am very excited to work with you and the rest of the board this year as well. And if people do want to connect with Katie, please do connect with her on LinkedIn. I'm assuming that's the best place, Katie, for you.
Yeah, of course. And I'm always I've gone through this sort of chartership. I've gone through various volunteering roles. I'm a fellow. I can help with advice around those things, and have done mentoring as well. I might be off the list at the minute because I'm a bit busy, but I'll be back on there again soon. And Yeah, just reach out. Always happy to have a conversation.
Thank you. And I have to say before you go that you were my saviour when I was doing my chartership. I remember panic sending you the WhatsApp messages saying, why am I doing this? What is this about? I'm going to fail. And you were like, calm down. It's okay. Just prepare. You'll be okay. And it's just so, the chartership buddies, actually, just before I jump you off, is incredible. So if you are thinking about chartership, please do check out the chartership buddies. Or if you've got someone like a Katie in your life, then drop them a DM or a WhatsApp message with your panic-laden messages. But thank you again, Katie, for all your support. And like I said, I look forward to working with you for the rest of this year.
Oh, likewise. Thanks, Advita. Thanks, everybody.
Bye. Brilliant. So I've seen we've got lots of hellos in our chat. So I'm going to pop a few on here. So here's Dr. Kevin Rook. He's calling in from Woolwich, who's a co-founder of PR Academy. Hi, Kevin. Any questions that I have missed on here? Just do a quick double check. Eileen, who is another board director who you'll get to hear from in a couple of months, actually. We're going to talk to Eileen. But she's just talking to Steve Shep, who's talked about the CBD platform, which is something we will be covering off. Maybe not today, but maybe Alastair might mention it when I bring him on stage in 1 second. Just as a quick one, for a reminder for folks, make sure that if you are thinking about chartership, then you can save, by the way, a couple of £100 if you, when you come to your renewal, or if you're joining as a new member, then make sure that you tell the membership office that you want to add chartership to your renewal, and you will save a couple of £100 on there. And this is something that not many folks are aware of. So I just wanted to kind of throw that in there for folks. So again, without further ado, I'm going to bring on stage Alastair McCapra. Hello, Alastair.
Hi, Advita. Good to see you.
Good to see you. How are you doing?
All right. I'm also on the south coast. It's quite kind of misty today. And I wanted to say, if you hear a kind of gentle snoring sound in the background, that's my little dog who's sitting somewhere nearby.
Great that you clarified that. So, Alastair, for those people, I mean, hopefully everybody knows that you're the CEO of CIPR, but do you just want to give like a brief intro, a little bit about you and how long you've been at CIPR?
Okay. So I've been working for the CIPR for just over 11 years. I came towards the end of 2013. Before that, I was chief executive of 2 other professional bodies. And I think one of the things that really attracted me to working for the CIPR was that a lot of other professional bodies are quite stuck in their habits. They're quite defensive. They think their job is to protect what they've already got. And because public relations is such a young profession and there's so much to be done that, we're only just starting with, it struck me as a very forward-looking professional community. And one of the things I continue to really like about it is that people don't care about the past that much. They're really interested in, well, what we're going to do now and what we're going to do next. And so it's a really good environment to work in from that point of view, because you're always on to the next thing and trying to build something for the future. And that's, that's good work. That's what I like doing.
Fabulous. Thank you. And on that, what are the plans for the next 12 months for CIPR?
A lot, as usual. But if I was to pick out a few key things, the main one is for us to really make sure that we're sustainable as a business. We had a very good financial result a few years ago. Then we got a bit too overconfident and overextended ourselves, tried to do too many new things. So we're winding back from that a bit, and we're just trying to be a bit more level and sure-footed about what we're doing. So, we're not in any sort of deep financial trouble or anything, but I think we have to make sure that we really think things through properly, and that we make the right financial decisions, whatever we're doing. So making sure that we're financially sustainable is the top one. We've grown by about 2,500 members over the last 3 years, which is great. Many professional memberships are not growing, so we continue to attract new people and particularly new employers to join the CIPR. So we want to keep the momentum on that. It's hard this year because a lot of employers are looking for ways of not spending money, but they're still talking to us, and that's very positive. And the last thing I'd mention is our lobbying campaign, which has been 100% unsuccessful in terms of getting the government to actually amend the lobbying law, which is the purpose, but has been extraordinarily successful in terms of getting press attention, getting the issue of lobbying onto the public agenda, and helping us build networks and alliances with other organisations. So some of our members may think, well, why are they always banging on about lobbying? Most of us don't work in lobbying, but it's one thing that really attracts public interest, gets press attention, and really gets us coverage we wouldn't get anywhere else. So I would say, even if you're not working in lobbying yourself, it is of benefit to the CIPR community generally. So we're going to keep plugging on with that.
And where do folks find out more about the work we're doing around the lobbying? Is that just in the newsroom, or is there a specific space they can get and find? Like you said, not everyone is involved in that space, but they may be interested.
Yeah. So on the website, there's a section called Our Work, and we talk in there about what we do under different headings, and there is information there about the Lobbying for Good lobbying campaign. And in a few months' time, in a couple of months, we'll be publishing our annual report. And that will give a sort of summary and highlights of what we've done over the last year, and who's been interested in what we've seen.
Fab. And just a little bit of a gap here. If anybody's got any questions for Alastair, then please do pop them into the comment section. We may not get through them in our chat today, but we'll definitely respond back to the comments after the session as well. And Alastair, in terms of one of the reasons I wanted to do this live stream was to kind of open up different things that we offer, because there's a lot of stuff that CIPR offers that not everybody knows or is aware of. So from a CIPR CEO's perspective, what is your kind of number one benefit for members that they may not be aware of, or you believe they need to know more about? Right.
It's something that relates to the Missing Women report, actually, because it, surprisingly to me, a lot of members don't know that we offer support to women who are on maternity. And so I think we first became aware, we set this up like 11 years ago, something like that. We became aware that a lot of women, when they went on maternity leave, were terminating their membership. And so we set up a package whereby you can maintain your membership. And if you're on maternity leave, then you get a payment break. Also, if you tell us that that's what you're doing, we carry your CPD points forward, so you get continuity of CPD, which is important. And in addition to the kind of formal payment break thing on your subscription, we also offer help if it's needed to help you get ready to come back to work. So sometimes when women have had one maternity leave after another, they may have been out of work for 2 years or so. Things can change a lot. The organisation can change. And several people have asked us just to help them rebuild a network and connect with people so that they kind of get back into the right mental space for going back to work. So that's all kind of part of the standard offer. We do talk about it from time to time, but it tends to get crowded out with lots of other things. But it continues to be something that I think a lot of people don't know that we have, and many people could benefit from. Brilliant.
And I'm assuming that the best way for folks to find out more is to get in touch with the membership office, right?
Team, that's right. Yes. Yeah.
Amazing. Fab. And then before we say goodbye, what has been your proudest moment as CEO at CIPR?
I've thought about that. I'm going to cheat because I've narrowed it down to 3 things. So the first one, I would say, I have every year, which is nice. Every year, I look at the draft annual report for the previous year, and I think, good Lord, did we actually do all of that? And it's when you read it all laid out, end to end, page after page of all the stuff that we've done, I think it's absolutely amazing. Somebody expressed an interest in joining our board. And she said, well, I've worked for an organisation, but it's not like yours at all. We've only got 30 staff. I said, well, we've only got 30 staff as well. And she said, oh, I thought we had hundreds. I said, no, we've only got 30. We've got 30 staff and about 350 volunteers. And the work they produce is absolutely amazing. And it's really nice. I feel very proud every year when I look at the annual review and see all of that together in one place. I think the biggest single one in my 11 years has been achieving the National Equality Standard, where we were the first professional body in the country to get that. It wasn't. I thought it was going to be relatively easy. It wasn't. It was quite hard. We failed the first time, but we got it in 2023, and we're due to renew next year. And I'm really proud of that. The other thing which I'm looking forward to being proud of next year is getting our 1,000th chartered practitioner. So all being well, we will have 1,000 chartered practitioners, which I think is to change the game really in terms of making it part of the normal kind of journey through membership.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Alastair. It's been a great conversation. As I said, if you've got any questions for myself or for Alastair, for anyone else within the CIPR colleague network or the board directors, please do pop them in the comments. I always check the comments post the session anyway, and Alastair, I'm sure we'll be checking them if there's any questions for him. But thank you for your time, Alastair. Really appreciate it, and I'll see you soon.
Take care.
Bye. So before I close off today's 30-minute session, I am coming to the section which I know a lot of people always wait for anticipation, is who are the top 10 CPD loggers of so far. There's 5 days left before CPD closes, but if you've been following closely, Vincenta is still leading with an incredible 398 points. And I said to you earlier about sharing some top tips, and I've been asking a few folks about what they do to make sure that they keep logging. And some people have, so one of the top tips that was shared with me is that some people have a spreadsheet that they fill in every week with any CPD that they're doing, and then they copy and paste it at the end of every month into the CPD portal. A few folks use ChatGPT to log their CPD points as well. So I'm testing this out myself. So you just voice note it into your AI tool, and it keeps a log for you. So if you're not got the time to kind of type things out, you can just put it in the voice note of the ChatGPT, and it kind of logs it for you, and then you can just copy and paste it into the portal as well. And if anybody else has got any top tips on how they log CPD, then please do share it in the comments. With 5 days left for this cycle to be over, I know a lot of folks will appreciate that. But well done, everyone on this list. We've got joint fourth here with Louise and Martin, and James has sneaked in there at 177 points as well. But this is an incredible achievement, and you should all be so proud of yourselves. And if you're looking for some inspiration, here are some of the top 5 most logged CPD assets that we've got. So the skills guides, 788 points on that one. The storytelling with Mark Egan is up there as well. And then empathy, ethics, and expertise is climbing up there at 276 points as well. I also want to say a huge congratulations to all our new chartered practitioners who have recently been chartered. It's an incredible achievement. And like I said to you earlier, if you've got any questions or thoughts or concerns even about getting chartered, we do have a chartership buddy scheme. There's lots of blogs and articles around chartership. We had a chartership week, and lots of folks shared top tips and ideas on there as well. Share it in the comments if you are looking for a chartership buddy, or if you are a chartership buddy, so people can reach out to you and connect as well. As Alastair said, we're so looking forward to welcoming our 1,000th chartered buddy out there. And then before I sign off, I wanted to show all of you what's happening over the next 30 days across CIPR with our group and network events. We've got some fantastic things happening. So take a screenshot of this on that I've just shared on screen with you now. These are some of the fab things that are happening across our different networks. Most of them are virtual, so anyone can access them, but we have got a couple of in-person events happening in different regions as well. If you've got any questions around the region that you're in, or you've got any thoughts or ideas about other events that you might want to do, I've seen, I think it was Robin here that talked about potentially doing something around debates, which I think is a great idea, Rob, and it's something that maybe we should think about. And I know there are some events that do things like this. So if anybody has any ideas similar to Rob, then please pop them in here. We'll make sure that we address them and we answer your questions and comments as well. But thank you, everybody, for, Dan has also just shared actually how you can get your buddy. So there's a link. So just copy and paste that link into the URL and you'll get access to that. But thank you, everyone. One final thing before I say goodbye is just to remind you all that we do have an ethics hotline. So I'm just going to get the number up here for you. Here you go. So if you are looking for support around ethics, this is a free membership benefit for all members. So if you've got a dilemma or you need some help or support in addressing any ethical dilemma, then please use this hotline. It's accessible Monday to Friday, 9 till 5. Anyone can, any member from all over the globe can access it as well. So please note this number down, put it in your diary or in your phone, and it's there for you to use however many times you need to use it as well. That's it from me for today. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and for your lovely comments and welcomes and intros in the commentary. If you're watching this back on replay, then please do join in the conversation. I'll be back again next month. Look out for the invitation on the CIPR LinkedIn page. And we're also live streaming this on YouTube and Instagram, so you can watch it on the move. Take care. Please do get in touch if you've got any thoughts or questions. My email address is president@cipr.co.uk. Take care, and I'll see you soon.